Hello everyone, my name is Nachiket Zambika. I'm the International Data Scholarship and Bursary Coordinator at Trent International, and I would like to welcome you all to the Scholarship Simplified series, where I focus on the different scholarships program that Trent International offers for undergraduate international students starting in winter, summer, or fall 2026. Today, this is the part one of the Scholarship Simplified series, and I'll be focusing on the automatic entrance scholarships. So, if we broadly look at the scholarships offered by Trent University for international students, we can categorize them into two parts. First are the scholarships that do not need an application, and there are scholarships that need an application. Today, I'll be focusing on the entrance scholarships, which come under the scholarships that do not need an application. And in part two of the Scholarship Simplified series, I'll be focusing on the prestigious scholarships and awards which require an application. So, talking more about the entrance scholarship. So, the entrance scholarship is awarded on the basis of academic excellence only. So, your final high school grades would be taken into consideration. And all undergraduate students applying to Trent University are automatically considered for the entrance scholarship. So no application is required to be considered for the entrance scholarship. And these range in value from $1,500 to $4,000 and are potentially renewable throughout the course of your undergraduate program. The entrance scholarship can be combined with the prestigious Trent International Scholarships and Awards. So you are not, these are not mutually exclusive. So if you get an entrance scholarship, that doesn't mean you can't apply for the prestigious scholarships. You can be considered for both of these. So and get a larger scholarship financial offer if you get considered for the prestigious scholarship as well. All eligible students are strongly encouraged to apply for these prestigious scholarships and awards to receive a larger total scholarship package. So, if you are eligible for the entrance scholarship, chances are you would also be eligible for the prestigious scholarship as well. So, if you receive an entrance scholarship offer, I strongly recommend that you apply for the prestigious scholarships as well. So, looking at what the breakdown looks like for the for the entrance scholarships. So, uh, if we look at the entrance scholarships in terms of tiers, so we have four tiers, and at tier four, if you have a grade between 80 to 84% in a high school, you would be eligible for the $1,500 entrance scholarship, and that's potentially renewable over 4 years, and the total scholarship you would get over 4 years would be $6,000. If you have a final grade between 85 to 89%, then you would receive $2,000 in the first year. And if you maintain that grade over the course of undergraduate program, you can get up to $8,000 over 4 years. Similar logic for tier two and tier one, where the maximum amount you can get is $4,000 if you have a grade between 95 to 100%, and the total scholarship you can get over 4 years is $16,000. So, what's the eligibility criteria for the entrance scholarships? So, firstly, you must be an international student paying international fees. Second, you must be studying in Canada on a study permit. Third, you must have applied to an undergraduate degree program at Trent University. Uh, for the entrance scholarships and the postgrad and the prestigious scholarships, postgraduate certificate students and graduate level students are not eligible. You must also meet Trent University's admission requirements, including the general and degree specific requirements and the English language proficiency requirements as well. So you need to fulfill all the conditions of admissions and any conditions mentioned in your letter acceptance before you become eligible for the entrance scholarship, and we deposit that in your account statement. And one of the most important criterion is also having a minimum grade of 80% or more. So depending on which tier you land in, the table that I discussed in the previous slide, you would receive a corresponding entrance scholarship. And you once you receive an offer letter, and if it's conditional, you need to fulfill those conditions and also register for courses to receive the scholarship amount closer to the beginning of your first semester. Coming to transaction information, So if you are eligible and if you're starting in winter 2026, which is January 2026, you would receive the first installment, which is 50% of the entrance scholarship in winter 2026, and the second installment, which is the rest of the 50%, will be applied in fall 2026. So we split the entrance scholarship amount into two parts, and then we give that amount in the first two semesters that you take at Trent. If eligible, students starting summer 2026 will receive the first installment not in summer, but actually in fall 2026. And the second installment, which would be the final installment for the entrance scholarship, would be applied in the winter 2027 semester as well. And if eligible, students starting in fall 2026 will receive the first installment in fall 2026. And similar to summer start students, they will receive the second and the final installment in winter 2027. One thing to keep in mind is you may receive two different entrance scholarship offers. One may be based on a predictive interim high school grades, and the second offer may be based on your final high school grades, which would be on your unconditional final letter acceptance. So the amounts may be different because if you look at how the admission process works, students usually first submit predictive or interim grades, which are not the final grades because they still haven't given the final exams yet or they don't have the results yet. So we may give you an entrance scholarship offer on the basis of that. But once you submit the final grades, we would then change or update the amount, which may go up or down depending on how you have performed compared to the predictive grades that you received. So if this causes confusion, please feel free to reach out to us. And then coming to renewing your entrance scholarship. So the entrance scholarship can be renewed at the beginning of each new academic year, fall and September of your undergraduate program. The entrance scholarship changes to the in-course scholarship after your first year at Trent University. So the process remains the same, and the amounts and the eligibility criteria remains the same. However, the name changes once your first year ends because you're no longer a new student. You would become a continuing student at Trent who's actively taking courses. So the entrance scholarship changes to the in-course scholarship after you finish your first year at Trent University. The in-course scholarship represents the renewable portion of the entrance scholarship and requires an application each year through your MyTrent portal. So, as we said, the entrance scholarship is potentially renewable across your undergraduate program. And once your first year ends and you have received both transactions of your entrance scholarship, you would then get eligible for the in-course scholarship if you have the required grades. The only difference in the process is that you would need to make an application each year to get considered for the in-course scholarship. You only do not need to make an application when you're starting at Trent in your first year because entrance scholarship is automatic. But once you start studying at Trent, you would need to make an application for the in-course scholarship. And the application is usually open during summer, and the form takes less than 5 minutes to fill out. So you can quickly apply for it and then get the transaction in the fall semester. And students who do not qualify the entrance scholarship in the first year may qualify for the in-course scholarship after the end of the first year if they meet the eligibility criteria. So it's not necessary that you should have got the entrance scholarship in order to get the in-course scholarship. If you didn't get the entrance scholarship because your grades were less than 80%, that's absolutely fine. You can still get the in-course scholarship in your second, third, and fourth year if you do really well at Trent and have a grade higher than 80%. All eligible students need to make an application to renew their entrance scholarship in the form of the in-course scholarship. So this can create some confusion. So I would like to clearly state that for the entrance scholarship, you do not need to make an application, but once your first year ends, to renew your entrance scholarship in the form of the in-course scholarship, you need to make an application. So changing your international in-course scholarship value. So the in-course scholarship value can remain the same each year or change each year depending on your yearly Trent average after the end of each academic year of your undergraduate program at Trent. So the in-course scholarship value can fluctuate over years. It may not remain the same as your entrance scholarship amount because we update the amount depending on the performance and your grades of each academic year. So you can upgrade your in-course scholarship amount if your grades increase, or it may also go down in value if your grades drop. So to give you an example, let's say a student who enters Trent with an 80% high school average, which is tier 4, receives 1500 entrance scholarship. And after they finish the first year, the Trent averages rises to 86%, which is tier 3. Then they become eligible for the 2000 in-course scholarship for the second year. So in this case, a student entered Trent University with high school grades between 80 to 84%. That made them eligible for the $1,500 entrance scholarship. But once they finished first year at Trent, their average at first year was 86. This made them eligible for tier 3, and they become eligible for a $2,000. So they got a $500 upgrade in their in-course scholarship. And if they do even better in this third and fourth year, they can get up to $3,000 or $4,000 as well. Example 2, a student who enters Trent with a 90% high school average receives a $3,000 entrance scholarship. If the average at Trent drops to 88% after the first year, the in-course scholarship will be reduced to $2,000 in the second year. So uh, there is room for the entrance scholarship to increase, but the in-course scholarship to increase, but there's also the possibility that it may decrease as well. So you would need to be on your toes throughout your undergraduate program and keep performing well to either upgrade the entrance in-course scholarship amount or retain the value that you have received in the previous years. So and the good thing is we look at your yearly average and not your cumulative average. So you have the opportunity to reinvent yourself and get considered for higher scholarship amounts each year. Coming to the last part, if you our office is in Champlain College of Trent University and is open from Monday to Friday from 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. So if you're already in Canada studying in a Canadian institution or you're here as a tourist, you can certainly visit Trent University, and we are located within Champlain College of Trent University, and we are open between 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you have any questions regarding the process, please feel free to email international@20.ca, and we would be happy to get back to you as soon as possible. And you can even call us at 705-748-1314, and our wonderful frontline team would be happy to answer any questions you have between 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.